All right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. I mean, let's talk about your CBD then.
All right. Yeah. So I started. So
I mean, we all there on the table. So
I'm trying to think about how to start talking about it. So the reason that I started CBD is a CBD company called Naked Warrior Recovery. The name Naked Warrior is from the predecessor of today's Navy SEAL. They were known as Naked Warriors. They were underwater demolition team guys. And kind of the history behind it, where they came from, is if you've ever seen the movie Saving Private Ryan, they're at Normandy, that big invasion that happens on the beach. Prior to that invasion, the Navy went
D-Day.
out on D-Day, exactly. Prior to that invasion, the Navy went out and they found a bunch of guys that were good at demolitions and they could swim. And what they had them do is they were on the big, these big ships out in the ocean or out in the water. They got in these little rubber boats. They drove about 500 yards off the beach. The guys got in the water. They swam to shore. They took they did a reconnaissance. So they took notes about like fighting positions, what obstacles were on the beach, how lanes of assault that they should find or take back or even prepare, because there were all these obstacles on the beach. Then they got back in the water and they measured the depth of the water. So they with a piece of string that had knots every 6 feet with a piece of lead at the end. And what they would do is they would measure the depth of the water. Like they would spread out about 25 yards apart, measure the depth of the water. And once everyone had the depth of the water, they would mark it down on a slate. And then they would dive underwater, swim about 25 yards looking for obstacles underwater, and then come up. And then if there was an obstacle, they'd mark it. And they would do 3,000 to 5,000 yards of the beach a night. And then they would take that intel back to the ship and make a chart. So they used that intel from those guys going ashore to create basically the plan of assault for Normandy, and then hours before the actual assault, these guys went back in. They put demolition charges on obstacles on the beaches. They set up these lanes of assault. They cleared obstacles in the water, so they put demo charges on everything, and then they pulled back off. And as the Saving Private Ryan dun 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 dun. Like Don's ringtone, dun 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 dun, starts rolling in. They blew the charges, and then they basically they cleared the way. And then the Navy decommissioned the team. And then there was this island campaign in the Pacific where my grandfather was driving Marines onto the beaches. And the Marines are running off. They're hitting these barrier reefs. They're running off. They think they're in 3 feet of water, and they run off and they drown in 30 feet of water. So the Navy recommissioned these teams to come back out, and they did more these hydrographic reconnaissance, and they did it basically wearing some shorty shorts, a K-bar knife, a slate around their neck, and a mask and fins. And so they were called the Naked Warrior. And then they, they started,
What
focusing
is
on.
slate? Is that what they wrote on?
It's like a piece of plexiglass.
Yeah.
Like a rectangle piece of plexiglass, and it had like boxes scored on it. So each person, depending where they were, they would mark. The first lane is where everyone started, and then if you were number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 10. Your slate is marked, you knew where you were, and so they could take that data and like put it onto a chart, and they could sort of turn it into a big picture.
Right.
And then so if there was if everyone is seeing where the reef starts and where it ends, then the guys know where to go back in and put the demo charges and blow the obstacles out of the water. And so after World War II was over, the teams stayed, but they called them underwater demolition team because that's a lot of what they did. They blew up obstacles underwater. Then Vietnam kicked off, and these guys started doing operations on land, but most of their insertion came from the river. And so they became known as frogmen, and they became known as the men with green faces. And in 1962, JFK changed them from underwater demolition team to U.S. Navy SEALs. And so the Naked Warrior is about the heritage of being a SEAL. The other part of Naked Warrior is like what I talked about earlier about taking your ego off and getting naked and being a little bit vulnerable, exposing yourself. And part of that was, I got some baggage, 26 years in the SEAL teams. I got some toxic relationships that we've kind of talked about earlier. And so part of my, sort of recovery and getting rid of some of the baggage was some of it. It was like mindset. I had to like kind of get rid of my ego and sort of go through that process. But one of the modalities that helped me get there was CBD. So Ray actually gave me my first bottle of CBD. And because I was in Virginia, I was having lunch with Ray.
Ray was your dealer?
He was my exactly.
That figures.
And he gave me my first free sample.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that works, I believe. And so, I took it that because I was like, Ray, after, I hadn't seen Ray in like years. And,
because he was doing time for the last time he was pushing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm like, hey, Ray, I'm going to go find some CBD because I think that'll be good for me. And I think what you have in Virginia is better than what we have in Hawaii. So he's like, you want CBD? I've got some back at the house. So he gave me my first bottle. And maybe that night I slept a little bit better. And maybe I was a little less pissed off the next morning. And what I like to say is water boils at 212 degrees. And I was probably living at 210 degrees. So my fuse was super short. It didn't take much, like many triggers to like send me over the edge. But what I noticed after taking CBD for that first bottle, I didn't notice anything like really on a daily basis. But what I noticed over time was after like that 30 days, however long that bottle lasted, I was like, I went from like 210 degrees to 205 to 200 to 190 to maybe 185. And then, something else I noticed was all these aches and pains and injuries that I have from 26 years of service. Like the pain is still there. The injuries are still there. It's just less bad. Like it's not stabbing me as badly as it used to. So those pains were just less bad, less inflammation. It helped me to drink less, helped me to like kind of calm my brain so that I could have good positive self-talk. And so that I could come up with the get naked mindset. And then I stopped taking CBD because I ran out, and then like I started moving back closer to that boiling point, and then I tried another brand of CBD, and I started getting further away from that boiling point. I was like, well, maybe there's something to this. I happened to be at a business conference that Ray was speaking at, so Ray was really kind of the foundation, and I probably don't give him enough credit for like helping me like get down this road, but Ray was a keynote speaker, so I got to go to this thing for free that was like a $5,000 to show up event. And I met someone in the CBD industry. I was super interested in it, and I wanted to, and I really kind of wanted to work for her because I was like I was failing as a consultant, with what I had started. Trying to figure out what my why was, why I'm doing this. Yes, I want to make a bunch of money, but I'm not doing a great job at making a lot of money right now. I've made some, but not really enough to sustain a lifestyle of any sort. And so I met this girl in the CBD industry, and she's like, you want to do B2B, B2C, A to B? I'm like, I don't even know the letters that you're saying to me. I want to do CBD. How about that? And so she's like, well, why don't you start your own CBD company? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. She's like, you're a Navy SEAL. Go figure it out. And I was like,
oh wow.
Oh, bitch slapped you, huh?
All right. Yeah, she pretty much pulled my man card. And so I started doing, I'm like, okay, well, if you believe in me, then I was not that you just totally called me a wuss, but pretty much what happened. So I started, kind of digging into the CBD industry, and I found like it's a pretty dirty industry. It's brand new. CBD was illegal up until December 20th of 2018 after the signing of the Farm Bill. After that, CBD became very popular, and you can find CBD shops and at gas stations, and it's everywhere. Super saturated market. And the FDA has actually gone out and done a ton of spot checks on companies, and they found that like 70% of the companies out there either don't have CBD in their product, have high levels of THC in their product, don't have the CBD they say they have in there. They have high levels of heavy metals, mercury, arsenic, solvents, things like that, because people are just out there. Let's get rich quick. And someone asked me once upon a time, what's the difference between your CBD and the CBD I can get at the gas station? And this wasn't my response, but I use it now. It was someone standing next to me, after I kind of explained like how thorough we are in like third-party testing and things like that, they're like, oh, what's the difference between buying sushi at the gas station and getting sushi from a sushi house? Like, do you really want to roll the bones with like gas station sushi? Do you really want to roll the bones with gas station CBD? And really, it's true when you look at like the trash that's out there in the market. Now, there's good companies out there. There's some good companies, but for the most part, there's a lot of trash out there. And so, what we're focusing on at Naked Warrior Recovery is there's still a stigma about THC, and so I went out and found the highest quality suppliers that I could find. And so we focus on mostly a broad spectrum product. So we still maintain the minor cannabinoids and terpenes from the hemp plant, but we remove the THC because there are people that are concerned about THC. I'm a child of Nancy Reagan's War on Drugs, Just Say No. And there's people that are concerned about, drug testing through their work, veterans, government employees, truck drivers, things like that. And so
Navy SEALs.
So we make sure that we maintain the minor cannabinoid and terpene profile of the CBD oil that is extracted, but we extract the THC from that oil just to make sure, just to give people peace of mind.
So what do you do with the leftover THC?
Well, I can't talk about that.
Oh, okay. I fucking finally asked a question and you won't answer. That's it. I quit. I've had enough shit.
Never quit.
Well,
Get naked.
Where's all this manufacturing that taking place? Well, I mean, we're what state or what city?
He can't answer that.
You
can't. It's out of Colorado. So there's some manufacturing that happens in. Oh shit! I forgot.
Oh man! How disappointing.
Yeah, but okay, just to re-verify what you're talking about right now, because product that does not contain THC is allowed to travel across state borders, but if it has THC into it, it has to be grown, manufactured, and sold inside that state. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but
no, if it has 0.3% or less. So the difference between hemp and marijuana is if the plant has 0.3% or less THC in it, then it's considered hemp. If it has greater than 0.3%, it's considered marijuana. It's the same plant. It's just how it's bred. And so, hemp.
They turn hemp into ropes.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and it's been used as a medicine for thousands of years.
Right.
Like if you look at history, there, the tombs in Egypt have found like cannabis plants in them. There's, some biblical mentions of it. So it's been out there for thousands of years. It's been used as a medicine, kind of like a cure-all. And I don't know that we want to go into like the science of it, like how it works with the body, but it's an anti-inflammatory. It supports your endocannabinoid system, which is a giant neuroreceptor that's connected to every other system in your body. And basically what it does is if one system is out of whack, it can pull all the other systems out of whack. And people are like, oh, CBD, it like cured my whatever. And they're like, CBD is not curing anything. What it does is it supports your endocannabinoid system. It's like a super multivitamin. And when that system gets pulled back into homeostasis, that helps your other systems work the way they're supposed to, and your body just sort of heals itself. Yeah. That's the bro science. I'm not a medical professional, but
so why'd you get into this?
Because it helped me drink less. It helped my pain go away, and it had such a positive impact on my life. I thought I should help bring it to other people, like veterans, first responders, people who are of service that are like suffering through whatever traumas that they're experiencing. Like maybe CBD can help them.
What injuries did you have?
Let's see.
Hell yeah.
According
to he got shot when he was hunting with his grandfather alone.
That
was a long time ago.
According to the VA, I'm 100% disabled through the VA, which really means if you do VA math, that means I'm more than 250% disabled. If you like add everything up directly, it's fuzzy math. But if you add everything up, like each injury that I have claimed for, like I have no cartilage in my knees. I have, lower back. I don't even know the medical terms for it, but back issues. I got shoulder issues. I got this bicep that I tore once upon a time that doesn't really work that well.
Yeah.
I got shoulder stuff. I got this collarbone isn't connected anymore. I got a few. I got some head trauma. I got some other stuff.
Well, that's obvious. We can see that. You're a born ugly kid, and you're going to say it that way.
I ain't smart, and I ain't pretty, so batting 1,000 so far.
Yeah, back in the 80s, they cut off the end of both my clavicles, because I had bad shoulders, and that's what they did back then.
Yeah.
Oh, bad shoulders.
Let's
Let's
chop
make
it off.
worse.
Let's chop it off. Yeah.
Well, completely disconnected from the rest of
Right.
your body. Made no sense at all. What are you doing?
Well, let's get back onto your CBD products then. Okay, I mean, I know that is yours derived from the hemp plant, or is it derived from marijuana? Because I mean, there's a big difference between the two different plants.
It's all derived from the hemp plant. There's 3 farms that we use. There's one in Oregon, one in Colorado, and one in Kentucky, which is where we get the oil from. All the oil is USDA certified organic. Not all of the products are USDA certified organic, only because to have that green stamp of approval, all like 95%, I think, of the ingredients that go into the oil. So like the gummies, those are not USDA certified organic because some of the ingredients in there don't meet that certified USDA certified organic. All of the tinctures, the soft gels are not, because of the gelatin that make the capsule is not USDA certified organic, but some of the topicals are USDA certified organic. The oil that goes into that is USDA certified organic. Just some of the products that come out are not. And the reason that you want to have good dirt, like a good organic practiced farm, is because hemp is a bioaccumulator, which means it pulls all the good stuff out of the soil, but it pulls all the trash out of the soil. And it's such a powerful bioaccumulator that they're using hemp at Chernobyl to clean the radiation out of the soil. China uses hemp to clean the shit out of the soil over there. And so you don't want to be putting, and all that stuff goes into the oil of the plant. So you don't want to have Chernobyl hemp as part of your CBD regimen. I mean, maybe it'll make you super strong or like a mutant or something, but X-Men. But
you glow at night. Yeah, that's what the big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Severn would trade that to get a cheaper price on it.
Now, Mr. Frye, you've crossed the line right now.
Yeah, really? Tell me what.
I knew all about what he was talking about there. I mean, it's the hemp plant again. Many multiple uses of the hemp plant. Everything from clothes to bricks to moiter to all kinds of cool things you can do with hemp.
Did you say moiter? Did you say moiter?
Yeah. Okay then.
Moiter.
Yeah.
It's his Boston accent kicking in.
Cut him off over there. Cut him off. Okay.
Hey man, it's my hemp, dude. It's so clean.
Okay. All right.
All right. What's with the greens?
So because CBD it's very difficult to market. Like I can't run Facebook ads or anything else for CBD. I found some other way. I wanted to find other ways to have a badass product that could provide benefits and health things. So most of us don't have enough greens in our diet. So I went out and partnered with some manufacturers, and we came up with some super greens. Most greens on the market taste like dirt and lawn clippings, but these are what I've been told, they're surprisingly not terrible. I like them. That's why I sell them, because I like them and they're good for me. And I do like fasting every now and then. And when I do fasting, all I'll drink is the super greens, the CBD energy drink that we have, and black coffee. So I'll do 3 or 5 day fasts using that, just to have micronutrients in the system, so the system doesn't crash.
So just one of those packets inside of a bottle of water that you have in front of you.
Yeah. So you can do it anywhere. Some people mix the two together, where they'll use it after lunch, your midday kind of crash, and they'll use those two together and get a little boost of energy to carry on through the rest of the day. Because it's also a little. So I've also had customers reach out to me and say, "Hey, my wife got off of Adderall using these energy drinks." It's not medical advice, But she's like, I don't have to use Adderall anymore using these energy drinks, and I still get the focus from that I do from Adderall, but I get it from this, and I don't have jitters at the end of the day. And I've had, just tons
your
of
energy
people.
drink, how long does that typically last for? If you consume one of those packets, does it say it's good for 8 hours, 6 hours, or 4 hours?
No, because it's 75 milligrams of caffeine and 12.5 milligrams of CBD. And everyone processes those things different. They process CBD differently. They process caffeine differently. The way I generally use it, and I drink it every day, is I have a half-gallon jug that I fill up with ice and water, and I put one of these in it, and I do that twice a day. And so I just have sustained energy throughout the day. I drink it throughout my workout. I never feel or if I have a workout and I'm like just smoked at the end of it, I have one of these and I'm like back up. And I don't have like that pre-workout drink, like skin crawling kind of effect. You just like feel like good and focused. You never really crash off of it.
But you're drinking a gallon of water basically a day.
I drink.
Sounds like at least at a minimum.
That's just what I do because I want to drink at least a gallon of water a day. But water's boring. I don't know how
there's a shark in it.
I don't know how bodybuilders just walking around with gallon jugs of water all the time. I'm like, dude, that's boring. So let's jive.
Maybe they've got that missing THC in it that you don't tell us about.
It's that liquid THC that we extracted. That just gets discarded.
Yeah, sure it does.
Yeah. All right. Well, when do you? Okay, you're doing this gallon of liquid throughout the course of your entire day. You're saying half gallon at a shot that you're doing. When do you induce the CBD in your body? Do you do that in the morning? Do you do this after workouts or prior to workouts? What do you do for you?
What I do, I generally have a soft gel in the morning, like one of these, or a tincture, like just under your tongue, in the morning, and I do the CBD energy drink throughout the day. And then at night I have a sleep formula, and it's got 25 milligrams of CBD, 5 milligrams of CBN, which is another minor cannabinoid, and 5 milligrams of melatonin just to put me down and go to sleep at night. I still
Does that work good well on you?
I generally take one or two a night, and it works really well. Before we added the CBN, I could push through I get tired and I'm like, I don't feel like going to bed yet. I'm working on something. I could push through that. With the CBN in it, I cannot push through it. I'm like, I can push through, but I don't ever get that second wind. I'm still tired and I'm still going down. So just take your ass to bed and go to sleep. That's what you need to do is sleep. So
I'm interested in that because I do have my better half that has some sleep issues, and so I'm thinking that's why I'm thinking, I have offered the pillow a few times, but she's she doesn't think that's very nice.
Get a bigger hammer. She's not there, is she?
Yeah.
She's got earmuffs on.
Just remember, I'm too close in proximity here right now. Okay, Big Brother is watching and listening. I'm intrigued by it. I mean, well, again, you don't know this really about me that well, but I mean, I've also been utilizing some of the CBD products there in the past as well because just for some pain. And just for a little bit better sleep, things of that nature. So, I think that CBD is a very it's a great product, especially if you can get it from good sources, like what you were saying there as well. So, I'm a big advocate of anything that can help, especially if it's a natural product. And what you talked about there in a cannabinoid system, a lot of people get on it. It's really good for. It just matches up. It's almost scary when you look at some of the terminology that they use in the science of manufacturing CBD, and then you realize you got the exact same things inside your body itself.
Right.
So
you make natural endogenous cannabinoids. So I'm not over by the mic. I can't. Yeah. Sorry, I failed.
No.
I failed right there.
That's why I really want people to understand that there's all kinds of CBD products out there, just like you said, good, bad, and different. It really boils down to the integrity of the company and what you're looking for to get out of it. So,
and I would say if you're going to buy CBD, you should buy it from a company that has, all of our products have a QR code on the back, so you can see the test results. Test results should also be on the website, in my humble opinion, just so you can see what you're actually putting in your body. Because right now it's completely unregulated, and like I said earlier, like there's a lot of bad actors out there in the industry. So I would just make sure that you have a high quality product that is definitely third party tested.
All right, so 73 grams of caffeine is what you said.
75 milligrams of caffeine.
How much?
It's like a cup of coffee. That's about
just 1 cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. I've been. You're talking about drinking that one a day. I'm putting 2 in my drink every couple hours.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.